What's up, everyone? I've got a new microphone. Let me know how it sounds for you. But it's time for another episode of The Cave Radar. Today, we're going to be taking a look at a show that's quietly been living in the back of my head rent-free ever since it started airing, Smoking Behind the Supermarket with You. Before we go any further, I just want to issue a disclaimer. I am not supporting or promoting smoking. There is a lot of smoking in this show. It's in the title, it's basically in every single scene, and it's really treated as a normal part of these characters' lives. I personally really like the atmosphere and the calm that it creates on screen. That quiet, late night, two people just existing together feeling, but that does not mean that I'm going out and telling anyone to start smoking, or that the best way to bond with somebody is over some cigarettes. It just happens to be the vehicle that this particular story uses. Cool? Cool. All right. Now, for those of you who don't know, I am an absolute sucker for rom-coms. Some of them are really bad and some of them are really good. And for whatever reason, this show instantly pulled me in. The premise is super simple, and I think that's why the show works for me. Sasaki is a man in his 40s who's completely worn down by the corporate grind. His days are long, thankless, and draining. The one bright spot in his routine is stopping by his local supermarket and seeing Yamada, the cheerful cashier who's always on register too. Her smile is basically the only thing that makes the day feel less heavy. One night he works late, shows up after Yamada's already gone, and ends up behind the supermarket looking for a place to smoke. And that's when he meets Tayama, a cooler, pierced, leather jacket type who casually invites him to smoke with her. What Sasaki doesn't realize is that Tayama is Yamada. Same person, different version of herself once the work uniform comes off. And that's the entire engine of the story so far. It's not a high-stakes plot. It's not even trying to be. Most of the episodes are just these two people standing behind a supermarket, smoking and talking, sometimes about work, sometimes about nothing important, sometimes about the small stuff that actually weighs on them. The conversations feel natural in a way that a lot of rom-coms don't. I love the characters. Pretty much everyone introduced so far has been great. With the exception of Sasaki's coworker, but, you know, it's not terrible. Meeting the manager and seeing her dynamic was a highlight. She's a full-on rom-com nerd who's just sitting there in the background cheering them on and egging things forward. It adds this fun extra layer without even taking over the story. There's nothing huge happening in this show. It's just cute. I mean, a lot of the background characters don't even have fully animated faces, so you can tell who's important in the story and who's not. And somehow that still has a certain charm to it that I find very alluring. I just keep clicking on the next episode every single time I hear that ending theme. It's just a really fun, easy watch. What makes it land is how well it captures that specific feeling of being an adult who's tired. Not dramatically broken, just tired. And then finding one small, consistent place where you can drop the performance for a few minutes. The age gap is there and it's acknowledged, but the show treats both of them like actual adults instead of turning it into something weird or predatory. Sasaki is awkward and self-depreciating in a very real way. Their conversations feel lived in. And can I just say, thank you, Lord Almighty. Everyone in this show is an adult. You don't have to feel weird or guilty watching it. For me personally, that alone is a huge win. Visually and atmospherically, the show leans hard into the quiet, the smoke, the nighttime lighting, the limited location. It all creates this low-key, almost cozy mood, even though the characters are dealing with burnout and loneliness. It's the kind of series that doesn't demand your full attention every second, but somehow still makes you sit there and feel it. One thing that I didn't expect is how the show actually leans into some darker territory around the long-term consequences of smoking. It becomes a legitimate plot point and shifts towards more of a health PSA at certain moments. It doesn't derail the tone, but it adds a little more weight than I thought it would. From what I'm getting so far, this feels like the story of a man who really likes one girl, and then slowly starts falling for the other version of her that he keeps talking to every night. He has no idea that no matter which way it goes, he's kind of already winning, and I really like how that dynamic is unfolding. I also watched the short-form mini-episode version of this show before I actually started watching the real episodes, and because of that, I really got attached to the ending theme of the short form. It was a song called Night Dancer by Imase. Imase? I don't know how you say his name, but that song is so good. That song is such a bop. I've been playing it nonstop inside of my car ever since I heard it. Unfortunately, they didn't carry it over to the full TV show, which I think is a huge missed opportunity because I was absolutely loving that song and it really just pulled me back in and made me want to watch the entire ending theme and made me want to watch the next episode. But it's fine. You know, the song is still out there. I can still listen to it whenever I want to. I just really happen to like it for this show. It was absolutely perfect. And also, I was looking at the current opening, and I see that they're going to be introducing some new characters that I didn't see in the short form. So I'm actually really interested to see how that dynamic plays out whenever they do introduce those characters. Right now, the anime is still ongoing. We're only partway through the season, so I'm not going to dig into later developments or speculate too hard. But what I can say is that the core dynamic has stayed strong, and the show knows exactly what tone it's going for. If you've been looking for something low stakes, adult, and quietly comforting, something that feels like exhaling after a long day, this one is definitely worth checking out. Just remember my disclaimer from earlier. For the Cave Radar rating, I'm giving this show a solid, locked on. I need to know what happens next. And yeah, it might be partly because I'm a sucker for rom-coms, but I genuinely think that this is a really, really good one. But yeah, I think that's everything for this episode of the Cave Radar. If you have been watching it too, feel free to let me know your thoughts in the comments. I'm curious to see how other people are thinking about the pace and the chemistry so far. But that's about everything that I got for you guys. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Hit the bell for notifications so you don't miss a future upload. You guys stay beautiful, and I will see you in the next video. You still here?